welcome back to my channel, or welcome back if you are new here. It's been a little while since I have filmed, but that was because last week I took a little bit of a break off socials and YouTube and stuff because it was half term. We were looking after my niece and nephew, which was really lovely. So yeah, I took a little bit of a break. But in today's video, I really want to film a video about how I study the Bible. I have filmed this video before, but I edited it like really badly. The editing all went wrong, so I was like, no, this needs to come off and I need to refilm it. So yeah, I always get this question on my other social pages like my Instagram and things like that, about how I personally study the Bible, and people have said like, how do I start, how do I begin, what do you do? So I thought I would film a video because I always love watching these videos, whether they're on like social media or whether they're here on YouTube. I always find it interesting to see how others study the Bible, what they do, what their tips are and things like that. So I thought I would make one. It's a really fun video and I love studying my Bible. It's one of my favorite ever things to do. I love spending time with the Lord and I just love going deeper into his word every single day. So yeah, I thought I would film that today, and in hopes that it would help and inspire you who are watching. And yeah, let's just get on with the video. So yeah, as I said, this is a video that people have this is a question people have asked me a lot over on my socials, and that's why I just wanted to sit down and show you what my routine and speak about what my routine actually looks like. But I also want to say this isn't the only way to study the Bible. Everybody does it differently. This is just my way and what I do, and I just wanted to share that in hopes that it would like help and encourage someone watching it. But yeah, this is definitely not the right or the wrong way. There is no right or wrong way to do it. You can do it however you like, however God leads you to do it. And mine, a lot of it is actually led through prayer and just like God leading me where he wants me to go in Bible study. And I'll obviously speak about that more in the video in a bit. But yeah, I just want to say there's no right or wrong way to do it. I move on to actually like studying the Bible and getting into the bigger reading of the Bible. And honestly, this kind of always looks different every single day, every single week. Sometimes I'll be studying a full book of the Bible. Like right now, I'm studying through John. That is somewhere where God has led me, and I always pray, God, lead me where you want me to go into your word. I think that's a really important thing to do when studying the Bible, is just to ask God where to lead you, because he is so full of wisdom and good knowledge and understanding, and whatever he leads us is obviously really relevant for our lives and where he wants us to go. And I'm really enjoying studying through John. I think it's absolutely great. Sometimes I might follow a Bible reading plan. Like for example, sometimes you can actually find them on social media, such as like Instagram. I've just literally seen one as I was scrolling yesterday, and it said like Bible study guide and Bible study plan for June, and it like gave you a verse and a book of the Bible to read like through every single day. Sometimes I'll do that if I feel like it's really relevant for me and my situation, or something that I want to read. Or I will study through a Bible plan, which you can find on the Bible app. I'll put a little screenshot of it there. That's a really great app, and I would recommend getting that if you're starting out in Bible study, because it's filled with great plans. You can actually read the Bible on the app. A lot of people use that app in church when they're following along in the Bible. It's a really great app. And yeah, that's another thing that I like to do. Yeah, it's mainly about where God leads me in, when I pray, and where he wants me to go. Sometimes I will study like a chapter or a book in the Bible in the Old Testament, and then one in the New. So I'm doing two different like studies, because I love doing that. I love reading through the Old Testament, I love reading through the New. Right now I am just doing in the New in John, obviously, as I said. And yeah, like I said, it's literally just about where God leads me, and I feel that is an essential for Bible studying, on how to study the Bible. Always pray, always ask God where you want to go, follow Bible study plans because they're always really good. There's ones that you can find on Instagram, like I said, recommended by really sound Christians that have good Bible study plans and guides of where to read. And then also in the Bible study app that is filled with great plans. There's so many different ones that you can find on there. There's ones for hope, there's ones for peace, there's ones for joy, there's ones for starting out in the Bible, there's ones about Easter, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. So it's really great, and I would recommend that app. The thing that has really helped me in my Bible study is using different translations. Now, if you don't know what this means, basically different versions of the Bible. So for example, I mainly read through this one, which is the NET version, which is the New English translation. This one I love. I think it's a really great informative Bible. I love how it's written. I love how it's translated, and it's got really, really nice like information pages, basically introduction pages on each book of the Bible when you go into a new book of the Bible. So for example here, Ruth, and it will give you an introduction to Ruth, what it's about, what the book is about, and how it can like help us to love God greatly, because this is the Love God Greatly Bible. And then at the end of each introduction it tells you, you know, this book helps us to love God greatly because it talks about God's goodness or God's provision or something like that. It also gives you a little map, and then it will give you somebody's story about how this book helped them, which I think is really lovely. And then it also, if I can find it, gives you a Bible study plan on how you can read through the book. So yeah, basically I read all different translations. I also have the Message version here. This is my Message version Bible, which I absolutely love. This is my first ever Bible that my mum gifted to me, so this one is really, really special to me, and I absolutely love it. I love reading through different translations because it helps you to compare verses. So for example, if you're ever stuck on a verse, you can then go and read it in a different translation, and it might help you to understand it better. So I always use these Bibles for cross-reference. I don't normally study directly from the Message. I use it more for cross-referencing and using it as a different translation. And then another one that I do mainly study from, and that I take to church with me a lot, is is this NLT? Yeah, my NLT Bible. And I love this one so much. This one's great. It's really good for studying because it's got like loads of space. And it's really, really great for translation and cross-referencing. Doing different translations actually just gives you a better understanding of what the passage or the verse or the book of the Bible is actually saying. So for example, if I'm confused in this one, I'm like, okay, I don't understand what that verse means, I may have actually written it down and written notes on it in my other Bible, which will really, really help me. And seeing it written slightly different kind of just helps it to click a little bit better and helps you to understand it more. Another thing that I use to help me when I'm reading and studying the Bible, especially during my study of the Old Testament, I use a book called the Lion Handbook of the Bible. This is one that I recently discovered. I didn't actually know that we had it in the house, and I found it on our bookshelf downstairs, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. And it is an amazing book. Again, I'll include a little screenshot of it right now, because I think my mum is actually using it at the moment. And it literally breaks down every single book of the Bible and goes into the history of it. It goes into the history. So for example, you might be studying through James, and it will give you a complete breakdown history of James, the history of that book, why it was written, all of this kind of stuff. And then it breaks down every single verse, and it's really, really easy to understand, and it's a really, really interesting book, especially the history aspect of it. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I would fully recommend that book if you're going into studying the Bible. It's a nice book to have alongside your Bible when you're studying, and yeah, it's really informative and helpful. The thing that I do when I get stuck on a verse is I go to the Enduring Word app. I'll include a little screenshot again of that there. I mean, I could just show you, but it won't come up properly on camera because it's on my iPad, so it will probably look a bit weird. Anyway, it's called Enduring Word, and it is an amazing, amazing app that breaks down every single book of the Bible and then every single verse in that. I'll actually try and show you because it might just be worth showing you. So it just looks like this. You can literally find the app on the App Store for your iPad or whatever device that you have, and then you go into commentary at the bottom here, and for example, I'm in John, so I was using this morning, and it literally, you obviously can't see that very well because it's a different way around. However, it breaks down every single verse and like tells you what it means, and you know, yeah, so it literally breaks down every single verse, tells you what it means, breaks it down really, really thoroughly well, and really helps you to understand it. And this is a great app. You can also bookmark where you are so that you don't have to keep going to find it again, and it does every single book of the Bible here, and then obviously the chapter, the verse you're in. So for example, if you're in Psalms, you'd find Psalms here and then go to like Psalm 123, whichever one that you're studying through, and it gives a full breakdown of each verse and really, really helps you to understand it, and like the history behind the book and why it was written, why maybe Jesus said. So say, for example, if maybe Jesus was speaking, like when he was teaching, when I was reading the other day, it tells you why he would have said that and done that. And there's also lots of other different apps. I think there's one called Blue Letter Bible, which is very similar to this. That's a great one. Also, just using Google is really good. So yeah, I think it makes the Bible study like a lot more clearer and meaningful. And you know, instead of just reading the text, you can actually understand what's going on and understand the bigger picture of the history and stuff. So I think it's great. So another thing that is essential for my Bible study and how I study the Bible is using my notebook here. I will do a separate video on my Bible study essentials, because I feel like then I can go into depth more of the apps that I use, the translations that I use, the tools that I use, everything like that. But this is my Bible study notebook. So in here, like I said, I'm studying through John at the moment. So I can find my notes. I will literally just do like a spider map of John and then write down really brief notes about what I've learnt during my study. And I love doing this. I think it's really important to write it down, you know, not just read it, because when you write it down you understand it more, it clicks in your brain. Especially for me, I'm a very visual learner, so I love making notes. I always have done since I was in school, college, all of that kind of stuff. I always love writing notes and making notes. For example, here I did a study on John 3:16 and I wrote about it, broke down, and then I wrote down all the notes that I broke down. Here I did Psalm 23 and Psalm 91. So yeah, in here I literally just write all my Bible study notes. I also write down sermons in here. So that's another way that I like to study the Bible, is by listening to sermons. You can find lots of good sermons on the verses that you are, or the chapters or the books of the Bible that you are studying through. And then obviously when you write listening to a sermon, they kind of turn it into like a really great encouragement for your situation, and it's always really good. A pastor that I like to listen to is Gary Hamrick. He goes through the Bible absolutely incredibly. I've never heard it spoken the way that he does. He really breaks it down amazingly, and you find out so much new information when he's going through a book of the Bible, and you're just like, wow, I've never read it like that, I've never heard it spoken about like that. It's incredible. And I did Revelation with him, and I was studying through Revelation, and that was just really, really great. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really, really good, so I would recommend him. And yeah, here I did Colossians. So again, another little diagram of like what I've learned during study. I write sermons from church, so when I go to church on Sunday, I take my notebook with me, I take my Bible with me, and I will study through, and then I'll just write down all the notes from it. So yeah, I would say definitely grab yourself a little notebook so that you can write down all your notes of what you have learned and how it's helped you. Like I said, I'll go into more depth about my Bible study tools and what I use in another video, because I feel like that would be great. Otherwise, this video itself is going to be so long, so I definitely won't include it in this video, because I will just yap on forever and ever about Bible study and stationery and all of that stuff. So I definitely want to do another video about that. Yeah, and I just want to share a final encouragement that if you are new to studying the Bible, I just want to encourage you with this. You know, start small and always pray. Include God in every single part of it, and say to God, where would you like me? Where do you want to lead me in this Bible study? Where do you want to study? Where do you want me to study? Where is a relevant place and a good place for me to study? Because God will always lead you to the right place, and he knows exactly what you need to read, what you need to hear, and what he wants you to study through, that is going to help you, encourage you, and just to strengthen your faith and bring you joy and peace. You know, start small and don't feel like you have to understand everything right away, because when I was first starting out studying the Bible, I was like, wow, this is so overwhelming, so difficult, it's a lot. And you don't have to start directly at Genesis. Start somewhere like in the Gospels, like John and Matthew, and because that's all about the life of Jesus. You know, start in James because that's about Christian living. Start in the Psalms because they're full of encouragement. And yeah, don't feel like you have to understand everything straight away, and don't feel like you have to read every single book of the Bible front to back. You know, there's always a Bible study plan out there. And yeah, just start where you are. Pray, read, ask questions, ask God to lead you through his word. I would definitely say start in the Gospels, like I just said, because they really helped me starting there, like in John, Acts, Matthew, all of that, as I've just said. Yeah, and the more time you spend in scripture, the more it will make sense over time. That's basically it, and how I study the Bible and what I do in my personal Bible study time. I really hope this video has been an encouragement to you and helped you in some way. I really hope that it has inspired you and encouraged you to just in your study of the Bible, and yeah, kind of helped you in that as well. Feel free to ask some questions down below on like where you can start and how you can start, and I'll answer any of the questions. And yeah, I'd actually love to know in the comments how you study the Bible, if you're just starting out and where you read, what your favourite books are to read. I always love asking people where are you reading in the Bible, if they're wanting to share that, because I think it's so interesting to see where other people are reading. And as I said at the start of the video, I love studying the Bible. It's always a question I like to ask. And yeah, I'm gonna also comment down below what other videos you would like to see filmed about studying the Bible. And yeah, I really again hope this video has been encouragement. I hope it's helped you. I know I didn't speak a lot about where to start in the Bible, but I did briefly on the end, so I do hope that's helped. But yeah, like I said, just start small, start with a Bible study plan and ask God where to lead you. And then I would also recommend, like I've said 3 times already, start in the Gospels, because they're really, really helpful. And yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.